Hi, everyone. My name is Anya Wahal, and I'm a sophomore at Georgetown majoring in Science, Technology, and International Affairs. Today, I will be presenting my research project titled An Urban Spatial Observatory Addressing Socio-Spatial Inequality in India. My research seeks to answer the following question. Given accelerating urbanization and pronounced patterns of social exclusion, how can cities be made more inclusive and accessible in the 21st century? We address this question by examining urban spatial data produced by state agencies in Delhi, India. Delhi is an ideal context because of its unequal access to government services and patterns of spatial exclusion. In light of COVID-19, inequalities in service provision have been especially prevalent, as citizens in unplanned settlements are excluded from basic services and are at a higher risk of contracting the disease than those who live in planned settlements. To produce a dynamic digital observatory at both planned and unplanned settlements, we combine four key sources of data: spatializing government data on services and land tenure, satellite imaging, fieldwork, and community participation. Ultimately, we were able to map more than 3,000 out of an estimated 4,500 settlements in Delhi, finding ration shops, health clinics, police stations, and more that were otherwise unidentified. In doing so, we provide a valuable service to Indian citizens, particularly those living on city peripheries who are already marginalized. Our maps allow government officials to see which areas lack support and to help relief volunteers know where they are needed. In answer to the question of how to make cities more inclusive and accessible, we find that producing a dynamic digital observatory can further those goals. In fact, our observatory resulted in more than 420,000 views on the Hunger Relief Center's map. The Delhi government also used our preliminary dataset to map relief efforts as a part of their COVID-19 response. I approached this research project with support from the Mortara Undergraduate Research Fellowship, a four-year research apprenticeship program beginning in my freshman spring. In addition, funding from the Mortara Center and the Improving the Human Condition grant allowed me to continue this research over the summer and into the fall. Since then, under my incredible professor, Professor Veer Raghavan, I've quickly learned to adapt to the challenge of helping build this urban spatial observatory. Key researchers in the observatory, particularly Bijoy Chakravarti, Shubhada Varde, Bob Bell, Ashish Gupta, and Sky Colorado Mansfield, also provided key advice and mentorship. Initially, contributing to this project was exceptionally daunting. As a freshman and the youngest researcher on the team, I had comparatively little experience at the time, much less in working on a project as large and ambitious as this one. But with the guidance of Georgetown faculty, I was earnestly recommended literature. I quickly read everything I could on economic development, big data, and urban policy. With that knowledge as my base, I then sought to learn more technical skills. Members of the observatory taught me geocoding through Google Colab and mapping through ArcGIS, after which I was able to contribute significantly to the mapping of settlements. I learned how to collect data from government records and kept extensive spreadsheets of the ration shops, police stations, hunger shelters, and more that we identified. Ultimately, my contributions allowed me to co-author a conference article for Data for Good on the challenges in opening government data to the public. Interestingly, the paper resulted from a personal surprise while conducting research for the observatory, and that was that opening government data was exceptionally challenging. Although making data usable and accessible to citizens is critical, government records are often difficult to transform, download, and find. Despite, or perhaps because of this challenge, our team is convinced that opening government data is even more critical. By making settlement layers, populations, and services available, we can help make cities and communities more inclusive and accessible in the 21st century. Thank you.